Hi everyone, it's Grada again from the Purple House, and I hope you can all see me today as I'm going to share a meditation with you. And today I want to go back to basics because I've been running these Facebook lives for maybe 4 months. And there's a lot of information, but it's always good to go back to basics. So, especially for me as well, because I've had a very busy week, and tomorrow will be my father's funeral. And in fact, I'm getting messages right now from my siblings to do with the funeral tomorrow. So for me, it's important as well that I go back to the basic things that I teach my students at Search to Success. So quite often the question that I need to answer is for people, they want to get the flow back into their life. They feel stuck and they want to be open up to the flow of health, the flow of money, or the flow of love, for better word. And the simple reason to do that is to relax. And to relax into our body and to remember who we are, that we are actually unconditional love, joy and peace. That's our true nature, nothing else. So the trouble with us is that we've forgotten how to relax and how to relax during a crisis. It's okay to relax when we feel safe and snuggled up in bed, but to actually approach life in a relaxed way, even when the going is a little bit tough. So in Chinese, the Chinese word for crisis is actually made up out of 2 symbols. One symbol is growth and the other symbol is for opportunity. So the first thing that I teach people is to sit like this. So fold your hands in a way that's comfortable and rest them on your heart. And that immediately is the most practical way to help your body snap out of survival mode and to go into a relaxation mode. So you do that first, and then the next thing is you take 3 deep, slow breaths into your body and close your eyes. So I'll just do that now, so I feel grounded and relaxed, so I can get my thoughts together for tonight. So I'll close my eyes. Breathe in deeply, and I feel my shoulders drop already and relax, because I hold a lot of tension in my shoulders. And one more time. So I already feel a lot more relaxed now, which means my right brain and my left brain are starting to function a bit better. So when I say go back to basics, I want to quickly tell you again about the 3 selves, because our lives are run by the 3 selves. And unless you know which one of your selves is in the driver's seat, it depends on how good your life is. So if your false self, or your ego, or your personality, or your conscious mind is in the driver's seat, you're going to run into trouble, and you're going to run into accidents in your relationships and with your health. So I'll always use this analogy. So this is your higher self, or your spirit, or your infinite self. That's the part of you that never dies, and the part of you that knows all about you from however many lifetimes, if you believe that all that information is there. And then we have our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, and those 2 are going up and down all day long. So let's say you might be cruising along for a while, and suddenly you have a crisis, and your emotions do a nosedive, and then you come back up. You might have an extreme high, and this is what happens to our body and our nervous system all day long. So our life already improves when we bring the three selves together. So our spirit, by the way, is not affected by anything. It's not affected by bankruptcy, by accidents, by losses, by anything. Our spirit is simply always there watching, like the blue clouds. Our spirit is like the blue sky behind the clouds. So it's always there, it's always the same. And it has infinite resources, and it's also the realm of miracles. So if you want a miracle in your life, you definitely need to learn to become aware of your infinite self, which is always there. It's not something you have to install in your body or artificially reprogram in your computer, because actually your infinite self is you, whether you know that or not. And then we have our conscious mind, that's the thinker. And I like to call that the trickster, because it tricks us by making us believe it knows everything. And it also makes us believe that it has our best at heart, which isn't actually entirely true, because the trickster tricks us all the time. It's our false self, driven by the ego. And then we have our unconscious self, which is the realm of our body or our emotions. The unconscious self is the middle road. So how can we get in touch with our unconscious mind, which is, by the way, we are 90% unconscious. So that's important to remember. We can get in touch with our unconscious mind by feeling our feelings, expressing our feelings, and listening to our five senses and our intuition. Okay, so I just wanted to go back to the conscious mind. The conscious mind is what makes us do this all the time. Because every thought that we think has a charge. And thoughts only make us, so thoughts, they're never neutral, that's what I want to say. So thoughts are like a little spark that ignite the petrol can, and our petrol can, that could then be our bodies. So our thoughts often trigger emotions in us. So I'll talk about that in a minute. So our thoughts are never neutral, and unfortunately, most of our thoughts that we think every day, and supposedly we think about 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day, most of those are negative when we talk about ourselves, or other people for that matter, but that's still a reflection of ourselves. And so it's been said that our thoughts, they make us go to heaven or hell. But what I mean by that is that today, right in this moment, you're creating heaven for yourself, you're going deeper into heaven, or right in this moment, you're going deeper into hell, depending on the thoughts you think. So if you're constantly having thoughts that are not good, that means your thoughts are run on fear-based thinking, which, by the way, you wouldn't be the only one, because that's what we've been taught right from the second we were born. So little babies, when they're born, they still realize their unconditional love, but it isn't long, maybe 2 or 3 years down the track, and little babies or children are totally confused about who they are. And by the time we are teenagers or young adults, we've completely forgotten who we are. So in my opinion, our life journey is about finding peace in ourselves again, our soul purpose, you could say. If our ego is here to serve our soul purpose, if our ego is here to serve our infinite mind, and if our ego is here to serve our subconscious self, our soul purpose will be fulfilled and you have a good life. So how do you do that? I know I'm talking a lot, but it's important to go back to the basics again. That every time we have a thought that doesn't serve us, we have an immediate response in our body. Our body will let us know, that's not a good thought, because we feel down or we feel drained. Or our bodies will go, you feel excited, or you feel a warm fuzzy, or you feel at peace, or you feel a spark of creativity. Then you know that you've actually been thinking a good thought. So what do you do with the other 50,000 thoughts that are no good? But the best thing is to interrupt them and you go, not that thought. This is what the Buddhists do. They have a practice like a windscreen wiper, and they probably think all the time, not that thought, not that thought, not that thought. But I actually have a better way. I often stop myself what I'm thinking, and rather than saying not that thought or judging myself, I just simply say to myself, I love myself for thinking whatever. I love myself for feeling nervous. I love myself for thinking I can't do this. I love myself for not knowing what to do. I love myself for thinking I can't make a decision, and so on. So I just laugh up those thoughts, and then the ego shrinks back in its boots, because the ego actually doesn't want us to have any self-love. Okay, so self-love is the key, because only love is real in our universe, and all the rest is not real. So for instance, when I feel an energy block in myself, I teach my students how to feel the energy. And right now I feel an energy block here. That means there is something in my body. It's an energy block. That means there's something here blocking the energy, which simply means there's something in my body that is not of love. And I could probably identify what it is. I can think about it for a minute. Okay, I know the emotion already. It sits right here over my lung points. It's actually an emotion because our body only feels emotions or feelings. I feel desolate. That's the feeling I have right now. Okay, so, okay, now I can think, I know why I'm feeling desolate, because my father died and I miss him and I'm not looking forward to the funeral. But thankfully, and so I'll just say to myself, I love myself for feeling desolate, and I'll just see if that feeling eases. I love myself for feeling desolate. I love myself for feeling desolate. So I turn to that feeling. I turn to that pain. It's changed place a little bit. I love myself for feeling desolate. So it's changing place, it's leaving my body. There's now a little bit over my stomach. I love myself for feeling desolate. And now it's gone. So that's how easy it is for feelings to unblock, and that means my energy is flowing freely again. Because when our energy gets blocked, it's like a kink in the garden hose. So water pressure builds up and suddenly the pipe will explode somewhere. That's what happens in our body when our energy gets blocked. And it builds up over maybe a number of years, and suddenly you'll have a heart attack, or worse, your relationship will explode. So in our universe, there is only unconditional love, which is represented in nature by the color green, which is the color for unconditional love, which is actually the frequency of 528 megahertz. It's also represented in music in the note of middle C. So if we feel out of tune with ourselves, we just simply need to tune our heart up again to middle C, because our heart is also, how do I say that? It's the color green, resonates with the frequency of 528 megahertz, the oil of frankincense. So we can, to tune our heart up, we can go out in nature, sit under a tree, lie on the grass, inhale frankincense, listen to the note of middle C. There are lots of ways that we can tune our heart up. But usually what we do when we feel unloving or unlovable, which by the way comes from fear, we start to interact with the fear, we start to respond to the fear, we start to resist the fear, we react to the fear. And fear can of course show in many different ways. Rather than focus on the good, focus on the love, focus on tuning the heart up, Like behind me, I have a harp. Not that you can see it because it's covered up at the moment, because I'm going away tomorrow. But if the note of C in my harp is out of tune, I'm not going to say, oh, my harp is useless, or smash the harp, or give it a kick. If the note of C is out of tune, I get my little tuning thingy out and tune the string up, and then the whole harp makes a beautiful sound again. So that's what tonight is all about. So I'm going to do a little meditation now where you can tune yourself up again to unconditional love, which you'll find in yourself. So because basically I meant to say this as well, as human beings we are 99.9999% space or energy, which is also consciousness, which is actually unconditional love, and we're only 0.0001% physical matter. So actually the physical matter, all our material problems that we see and come across in our life, they can easily be overcome by tuning ourselves up energetically. And it's very easy, effortless, it doesn't require any stress, and you don't have to be perfect for it to do. So here's our infinite self. So let's see when we meditate if we can actually drop into that still point. We're going to calm our conscious mind, which brings forth happy, relaxed feelings in our body and our unconscious mind. And once we know how to tune into our unconscious and bring all three together, life starts flowing towards us, like good things come our way, like miracles start to happen, because we're doing this massive energy shift. And if we do this every day, we can heal ourselves from all our stresses. And our thinking will automatically change. Okay. So our thinking mind, that's the last thing I want to say. Our conscious mind, which is the trickster, it's also called the false self, always wants to be right. So you know that your conscious mind is in the driver's seat. If you're always going on like, you have to be right, you have to know it all, or you say to yourself, I can't be wrong, or you're defending yourself, or justifying yourself, or attacking other people, or criticizing. If you find you're having a lot of thoughts like that, you know your conscious mind is in the driver's seat, and it's time you shove them in the boot, or her, and lock the boot, and you put your infinite self, or your subconscious, or your authentic self, that might be a better word for it, put that one behind the driver's seat for a while. And I'm inviting you to just do that right now. So your authentic self is always curious, it loves to be informed, and it loves to discover new things. It's always wondering about everything in your environment. It loves to explore. So just like a little child, just for now, for the next 5 minutes, allow that little child to come forward, ease into your body, become aware of your body, become curious about yourself. And just take a breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And the conscious mind is taking the back seat. Or just imagine your conscious mind is sitting in the corner of the room, watching from a distance. Just turn that analyzer down. For the next 5 minutes, you don't need to stop. You don't need to analyze anything. Breathing in, breathing out. Take your awareness to a point behind your eyes. Close your eyes, and behind your eyes, you have a second set of eyes. Just imagine connecting and looking out through that second set of eyes behind your eyes. And they are looking at you from unconditional love. Soft eyes. Soft eyes. Just feel your body soften. Now take your awareness down into your heart space. And just feel your body relax. Your authentic self is coming forward. And if you have any feelings in your body, if your body is talking to you through tension or niggles, or if you yawn, that's all unconscious energy. Just let it rise up and bubble up. And just be curious about your body. Just be curious about yourself. Any thoughts that pop up, just watch them float past again. Now drop into your belly button and drop lower into your pelvis. And once you're inside your pelvis, you're home. So just stay into your pelvis for a while. This is your receiving center, where you receive good things. And just be curious again what's going on in your body. If you're still not feeling centered, just drop back to your feet and feel a grounding sensation through the feet. And just drop further, deeper and deeper, all the way into the center of the earth. And ground yourself in that center. Find your own spot there. I can feel myself become really calm. And I also feel really calm and settled now when I think about the funeral. Because I know my Father is here, right here. He is energy all around me. He feels to me like that green energy, making me feel very settled instead of desolate. So you just connect with your own heart and then your pelvis, which is your home base. And your divine eyes. Just using the breath to make sure you're checking in on that vertical core that goes right through your body, filling you with divine energy. Just take a breath in and out. If it's hard for you to relax, just put your hands there. And that's tuning up your nervous system to go into a state of deep relaxation. The better you become at relaxing, the more you get to know yourself, the more at peace you are. And the easier it will be for you to line up with your soul's purpose and to be in tune with your heart. I have a question for you, just popped into my head. Ask yourself, is it important for you to always want to be right? Or is it more important for you to always be love? Just ask your body that. What's more important? To be right or to be love? Okay. I'm enjoying hearing the frogs outside, and it feels all still in my body. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes and you can look at yourself with soft eyes again. Okay? Soft eyes. And we've turned the analyzer down a little bit. My conscious mind is still in the back seat. Okay? I can sort of distantly still giving me messages, like it might be criticizing me a little bit, that this Facebook Live is taking too long and all the rest. But I'm not taking any notice of it. I'm listening to the messages inside me. Okay? So, I don't know why I suddenly got that message about that it's important. What's more important for you? Do you always, especially in your everyday relationships, or how the way you talk with yourself or the way you talk to others, is it more important for you to be right, or is it more important for you to be love? So if you want to be right, that means your conscious mind is in the driver's seat, and you're going to come unstuck sooner or later. And so being right can be going over old stories about the past, like when you say stuff like, well, you remember that time when you did this and I did that and da 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 da. So that's actually, we all know that's a dead end road. So how can you change the situation? How can you feel at peace in your relationship? Just drop into your heart center, tune that up like I do to my instruments, and allow the universe to do the rest. You don't have to make anything else right. The universe will do that for you. And as soon as you're allowed to do that, just leave it up to your higher self. So your higher self is not sticking out there like Mount Everest all by itself in the universe. Your higher self is actually the universe. Okay? Your higher self is the same as my higher self. There's no separation there. It's the same as my father's higher self. Even though he's left his body, he's still communicating with me, because that's how it is. So if you have any difficulties or challenges that are too big for you and that are going to cause arguments or disruption in your life, you just leave that up to your higher self, because your conscious mind doesn't have the answer. And then just be curious. Like, allow your authentic self to be curious and open up space in your body for a miracle to happen. And all you need to do is step out of the way. Like, you've posted the letter, you've put it in the post office box, and then you walk away and you allow the universe to deal with your issues. And just be curious and be in a state of happy anticipation, because a positive change is on the way. But if you keep going back to the mailbox with a crowbar and taking that letter out and rewriting it and sticking it back in, it's not going to reach its destination. So you just simply have to learn to ask, wait, have patience, trust, and listen. Okay, listen to your body, listen to the universe, and look out at life through soft eyes. So that's why it's important to do that meditation, that you bring all three selves together, and the more often you do that during the day, the better your life will be, and you'll start manifesting the things in your life that you want, and all those things will be to do with love, peace, and joy. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this session. Thanks for tuning in, Simone and everybody else who's watching this replay. Keep doing your daily practice. Keep questioning your thoughts and controlling your thoughts. They need to be controlled. However, your feelings don't need to be controlled. They simply need to be felt and acknowledged, okay? And I look forward to talking to you again next week. If you have any questions, just send me a personal message or an email, and I look forward to you again. Thanks for watching. Bye, Simone. Have a good week. Bye.